Yep.
Shalom.
Shalom. So give all praises and glory to
Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakadash.
everyone to the Apostle James Ruel, and shalom to the faithful man as always continue doing the work of the Lord. Alright, so Lord willing, once again, James comes to Ohio for our Sunday class. Continuing on the Bible series. Now we in the book of Ezekiel. Okay, so now we're going to go into the article, and it's going to pretty much be an overview of the whole book. But before that, let me see. I'm going to read this real quick. Alright. Because, before Ezekiel is Lamentation and then Jeremiah. So, I just want to read this real quick. Let me see. Because I was typing how far apart was Jeremiah and Ezekiel. Was they was pretty much prophesying at the same time, but Jeremiah prophesied a little bit before him. It says Ezekiel was a younger contemporary who began his ministry roughly 35 years after Jeremiah, with the active period overlapping between 593 BC and 586 BC. Alright, it says key details on the separation and location. Jeremiah remained in Jerusalem throughout his ministry, witnessing this destruction. Ezekiel was taken to Babylon in 498 BC and prophesied to exiles there. Alright, let me see. It says connection. Ezekiel was likely familiar with Jeremiah's ministry and letters, as both were priests with overlapping prophetic responsibilities during the same historical crisis. Alright, so I just wanted to get into that real quick, just to connect, the timelines and things like that. So now, without further ado, we can just go ahead and start at the beginning of the article.
Alright, I'll be the reader real quick.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, can you read the page name too?
Mm-hmm. So I got this out of BibleProject.com, and hold on, let me see. All right, so BibleProject.com, the book of Ezekiel. It says Ezekiel was a priest. I'll read Old Testament overviews of Ezekiel 1 to 33. Ezekiel was a priest who had been living in Jerusalem during the first Babylonian attack on the city. You can read 2 Kings 24, 8 to 17.
Yep, and matter of fact, can you get that? Just to, we already brought it out, but, just to refresh your mind.
Mm-hmm.
I got you.
Okay.
2 Kings 24, starting at 8. We'll go A and P. It said Jehoiakim was 18 years old when he became king, and he reigned only 3 months in Jerusalem. His mother's name was Nahashta, daughter of Elathan of Jerusalem. He did evil in the sight of Yahweh in accordance with everything that his father had done. At that time, the servants of Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, went up to Jerusalem, and the city came under siege. Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, came to the city while his servants were besieging it. Jehoiakim, king of Judah, surrendered to the king of Babylon. He and his mother and his servants and his captains and his palace officials. So the king of Babylon took him prisoner in the 8th year of his own reign. He carried out of there Jerusalem all the treasures of the house temple of Yahweh and the treasures of the house palace of the king, and cut in pieces all the articles of gold in the temple of Yahweh which Solomon king of Israel had made, just as Yahweh had said.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 14, it says, he led away into exile all Jerusalem, and all the captains and all the brave men, 10,000 captives, and all the craftsmen and the smiths. None remained except the poorest people of the land.
Right, see what I'm saying? So, let me see. We can stop there, but yeah, it's just going into, the besieging of Jerusalem, you know what I'm saying? And, the people got took to captivity and only the poorest of the land stayed. And Jeremiah, he was one of those men that stayed. You know what I'm saying? Because they gave him a choice whether he want to stay or not, and he chose to stay amongst the people. But Ezekiel took him. You know what I'm saying? Daniel, so on and so forth. But we can go back to the article.
And just for reference, that was during the second besieging.
Mm-hmm.
At that time, dealing with Jehoiakim, because you had the first one with Jehoiakim, his father, in 605 BC, and throughout, up until 597 BC, which was the second. You had the last one in 587 BC when they completely, just pretty much annihilated, the land, so on and so forth, destroyed the temple, broke the walls, things of that nature.
Back at the article, it says the city itself was spared, but the king of Babylon took a first wave of Israelite prisoners into exile. Ezekiel was among them. The book begins 5 years after these traumatic events, and we find Ezekiel sitting on the bank of an irrigation canal near his Israelite refugee camp. On his 30th birthday, no less, it's the year that he would have been installed as a priest in Jerusalem.
Right, and real quick,
I'm gonna actually look up the word Ezekiel in the blue letter real quick, just for efficacious sake.
Yeah, I got Ezekiel 1 as well. Prove his exile.
Yeah, come about to get into that. You can read the name, and I'm gonna get a preset real quick.
Mm-hmm.
You got it.
So we got quick. Just log in.
Well, while you getting that, can somebody get Numbers 4 and 3? Well, you start at 2, because it says what he said. He said let me go back. Damn, where's my thing at? All right, it says he's about to be a priest. You know what I'm saying? At the age of 30. You know what I'm saying? And just to prove that real quick, priests, they become what's it called, at the age of 30. Right? Levites, yeah.
Become priests, yeah.
Right. So you got it.
Yes. So I got the word out the blue letter. Of course, it's the Yiddish, but it would be pretty much considered Yaha Kazal, as in the Most High strengthens. All right. So that's pretty much the name of Ezekiel in the Hebrew.
Somebody got that?
Oh, you see the numbers?
I got you. Numbers 4. I'll just start at the top real quick. It says, and Yahweh spake unto Moses and unto Aaron, saying, take the sum of the sons of Kohath from among the sons of Levi after their families by the house of their fathers, from 30 years old and upward, even until 50 years old, all that enter into the host to do the work in the tabernacle of the congregation.
Right, and there's other scriptures on that too, but we can stop there. But also look at that word, or not the word, but the word that's like the number 30. It goes into maturity. You know what I'm saying? That's why you become, a priest, and what they say, you begin to do the work of the tabernacle of the congregation. You know what I'm saying? Just to prove that real quick. But other than that, we can go back to the article.
All right. So back at the article out of BibleProject.com, it says the big idea. Matter of fact.
Oh, you can skip that.
Yeah, I can skip that. Yeah. Ezekiel.
How you pronounce Jake's name? And Ezekiel's name?
Yahazakal. It was it might be a little off.
It's
Yahazak. Okay.
You got it.
Ezekiel 1 and 11.
And you can just read that heading, then we can just read Ezekiel 1.
All right. It says Ezekiel 1 through 11. This is commissioning sign acts in the Most High's departure from the temple. And jumping to Ezekiel real quick.
Right, it's a lot because it's Yahazak, because strengthens or strength means is Kazak. So it'd be, Yahweh strengthens. or Yahweh power strengthens.
Got you. Yeah. Cause I didn't want to read in like the Yiddish. I was trying to piece it together. Cause I heard that name before in Hebrew.
Yeah, just for the edification of the camp. Yahchazak Allah.
All right, so I got Ezekiel chapter 1 at the top. Now it came to pass in the 30th year, in the 4th month, in the 5th day of the month, as I was among the captives by the river of Chebar, that the heavens were open, and I saw visions of the Most High. In the 5th day of the month, which was the 5th year of King Jehoiakim's captivity, the word of the Lord Yahweh came expressly unto Ezekiel, the priest, the son of Buzai, in the land of the Chaldeans by the river Chebar. And the hand of the Lord Yahweh was there upon him. And I looked, behold, a whirlwind came out on the north, a great cloud, and a fire enfolding itself.
Right, in other words, a chariot. And even what's that damn History Channel? I believe they even go into that I think it's called I forgot what the channel or the show is called, but I think it's like Ancient Aliens or some bullshit. But they would use Ezekiel 1 to prove the existence of the so-called UFOs. But that's pretty much what he's seen. But you got it.
And a brightness was about it, and out of the midst thereof, as the color of amber, out of the midst of the fire, also out of the midst thereof came like likeness of 4 living creatures, and this was their appearance. They had the likeness of a man.
Which is the angels, all right? Because we know that the angels, they drive those chariots, all right? But you got it. Was that Psalms? I think, was it 104, I believe? It says the angels of the Lord with the clouds. If somebody know what I'm talking about. You got it.
It's verse 6. And every one had 4 faces, and every one had 4 wings, and their feet were straight feet, and the sole of their feet was like the sole of a calf's foot, and they sparkled like the color of burnished brass. Ooh-wee.
Right.
Come on, man.
Brass, so it shows you, what color is brass? Brown.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But was that Revelation 1 when they described Yahushua?
Yep. I was about to just say that, because that's how you prove, and you also prove through this precept, because Yahushua is in control of the angels, so to speak.
Yeah. I think it says the same thing in the book of Daniel too. It says that I forgot who it was describing. I think it was describing the Most High when it said the skin was brass or something like that.
Yeah, Daniel's. Yeah, I know where it is, but I can't think right now. That says, their wings would join one to another. They turned not when they went. They went every one straight forward. As for the likeness of their faces, they 4 had the face of a man and the face of a lion on the right side, and they 4 had the face of an ox on the left side. They 4 also had the face of an eagle. Thus were the faces, and their wings were stretched upward. 2 wings of everyone were joined one to another, and 2 covered their bodies. And they went every one straight forward, whither the Spirit was to go. They went, and they turned not when they went. As for the likeness of the living creatures, their appearances was like burning coals of fire, and like the appearance of lamps.
Right, so that's what you see, like a lot of these different shows and movies with superpowers. They burning on fire, things like that. They all got that from the scriptures, like that order. You know what I'm saying?
Like Naruto, Chakra.
Yeah.
Or like
Dragon Ball.
Yep. Or like the mic guy. He charge up.
Yeah.
They all got that aura around them and shit.
What's that new term niggas be saying nowadays? The oral forming or something like that?
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck are you talking about? I don't even know what that even means. I mean, as far as these young...
It's just a phrase.
Yeah, okay, so it's like the fact.
It's like you got aura. Like the angels got aura. When you see an angel, everybody gonna look at it, oh shit. Be mesmerized,
I just know these young niggas be saying it nowadays. Or forming, whatever, Back at it, it says, it went up and down among the living creatures, and the fire was bright, and out of the fire went forth lightning.
What verse you in?
Back at 13.
Okay, Con, you got it.
Mm-hmm. You want to read it back again or just
Oh, no,
keep
you
going?
good.
All right, verse 14. And the living creatures ran and returned as the appearance of a flash of lightning.
Right, it's another spiritual power, flash of lightning. You think of the Flash, the TV show.
Mm-hmm.
And they could be running back and forth, and he's like a flash of lightning. Matter of fact, can we get that? What was that? Wisdom of Solomon, I think 3. It said they shall be moved like sparks.
Sparks and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because they don't have the how fighter jets, they got to move one direction, then they got to really plane.
Right.
They got to slow down and turn into they can just they jet going crazy.
That's the spirit. That just reminded me because I did a video a little while back. This lady, she was in the military, like flying the jets or planes, whatever the fuck, and she was doing a training, and then she said she seen a so-called UFO, and the people, they would train them to, like, if you see a plane, you gotta like look at the wing, you gotta look at the shit that's around it, so you can determine,
the wind drift,
right, all
pretty
that
much
shit.
like that.
And she was like, I couldn't see nothing. It was smooth, and it would just go from one place to another in a matter of seconds, like impossible. And she also said, in so many words, I forgot how she said it, but she was like, pretty much we can't be like us, our military down here. We can't be so proud because there's things out there that got way more ability than we do. She said something like, I forgot how she said it. It was like cinematic, but showing you the Lord is way more advanced. You know what I'm saying? These chariots are way more advanced than Esau's chariots. Cause he gotta stop, he gotta, you know what I'm saying, all this other shit. But the Lord, he can make the chariot expand, go small,
Disappear.
right, disappear, have other chariots come out of it, all kinds of different things,
I got a quick preset. It's Sirach 43:31, just to kind of back up what you're speaking about. It says, who have seen him that he might tell us, and who can magnify him as he is? There are yet hid greater things than these be, for we have seen but a few of his works. Right, just going into the point. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, you can't boast, you know what I'm saying, this technological, like Darth Vader said. So these technological advancements is in comparison to the power of the force, something like that. But all in all, like I said, we only seen a few of his works. Even how we view the chariots, you know what I'm saying? We haven't really seen the chariots in, their full glory. You know what I'm saying? And that woman got to see a glimpse of it. And like you said, you couldn't even compare them to it. Just going to show you how far out the Heavenly Father is, that even, his a host and, the things that he has created, on the celestial level. But I got that Wisdom of Solomon. So Wisdom of Solomon 2. And what we got? Glasses. This is Wisdom of Solomon 3 and 7. It says, in the time of their visitation they shall shine and run to and fro like sparks among the stubble.
Right. And what the scripture says, I think it's Zechariah says that, we're gonna be like King David, we're gonna be like the angels of the Lord. And that's what the angels, they had the power to move, like sparks at the stubble, you know what I'm saying? So like I kind of butchered it. You might read that part again?
Wisdom of Solomon 3:7. It says, in the time of their visitation they shall shine and run to and fro like sparks among the stubble.
Right, you know what I'm saying? You're gonna look like sparks or lightning, moving, zipping back and forth. Even like you said, you mentioned Darth Vader. Like if you read the books, you know what I'm saying, when they was the Jedi's and Sith, they was fighting. They said it looked like a blur, like a flash. You know what I'm saying? Or even Dragon Ball Z. Gohan was fighting Cell, and he was the only one that was able to actually see Cell and Goku fight because they was moving so damn fast. So our speed is gonna be beyond. And real quick, Cause I remember watching the video. Cause Esau, he can't wrap his mind around this. We can't wrap our mind around this. But it was a video where this dude, he tried to explain like so-called superpowers scientifically, and he's saying, well, that's impossible for us to do it. Cause if we have super speed or we would move too fast, our legs would break, and all that shit, which is true. That's why the Lord gonna give us those spiritual bodies, so our bodies will be able to handle that power. You know what I'm saying? But
Did you want that?
Hmm?
So did you want that?
Which one?
1 Corinthians.
Corinthians.
Oh yeah, yeah.
This is 1 Corinthians 15, and I'm gonna just get to the point. I'm gonna start at 38. It says, but the Most High giveth it a body as it hath pleased him, and to every seed his own body. All flesh is not the same flesh, but there is one kind of flesh of men, another flesh of beasts, another of fishes, and another of birds.
Right, real quick, and I gotta say that bullshit evolution, I hate that.
Yeah, that's just bullshit. It's so easy to debunk.
Cause it says one flesh of man, one flesh of beast, but they said we came from apes. That's a beast, that's an animal. That's impossible. You can't, you know what I'm saying? And I think they said we came from the sea too at first. That's impossible, you know what I mean? But you got it.
It says there are also celestial bodies and bodies terrestrial. But the glory of celestial is one, and the glory of terrestrial is another.
Right, celestial, you know, like angels, you know, the heavenly bodies, things like that. And you got terrestrial, which is like
Terrain,
right? The flesh, you know, where you came out of the dust. You know what I'm saying? But you got it.
Let me see. I want to get down to the point. I'm gonna jump down to verse 52. Almost at 51. Or it's like at 50. It says, now this I say, brethren, that all flesh and blood cannot inherit the kingdom of heaven, for the kingdom of the Most High neither do corruption inherit incorruption. Behold, I show you a mystery. We shall not all sleep, but we shall all be changed.
Like sleep and die. We're not all gonna die and that's it. We're gonna be changed. You know what I'm saying? Because you know we need those new bodies in order to perform these different. Well, now I'm gonna say this too. Now the Lord, because He is gonna give us spiritual powers, and we are gonna be able to do these different things, even in this body. You know what I'm saying? But it's not gonna be like that forever. You know what I mean? The Lord got to fully transition us.
Different
You know what I'm saying? Right, glory to glory. You know. But is there more?
Verse 52. It says, in a moment, in the twinkling of an eye, at the last trump, for the trumpet shall sound, and the dead shall be raised incorruptible, and we shall be changed.
Right, even brothers that pass, you know what I'm saying? They gonna rise first. You know, the chariots, you know what I'm saying? Starting with Yahushua and the rest of the angels. You know.
One more. It says, for this corruptible must put on incorruption, and this mortal must put on immortality.
Right, mortal, because mortal goes into death. That's what this body is, nothing but death. You know, you got expiration date, you know, whenever that day comes. But the immortal, you know, goes into living forever. You know, and that's what the angels, they live forever. You can't destroy them, you can't hurt them, you can't, none of that. You know what I'm saying?
And even Salaki, even the bodies we have, because we're gonna have like a body that's like both in a sense, because we're gonna be able to procreate. You know what I'm saying? So even the glory that we're gonna, it's gonna be a whole different type of, you know, glory. You know what I'm saying? A whole different body. Like, you know, a fusion between both celestial and terrestrial. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna, because the angels can't mate. You know what I'm saying? Those who are purely celestial bodies. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna, you know, in a roundabout way, inherit both of them. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be insane, man.
That's why the story about Mary about getting impregnated by an angel, that's a completely nonsense.
You go back to that Ezekiel 1. Can you read down to 18? And then after you read down to 18, can you skip down to 20? Let me see. So I can hold on. You can skip to 24, but you got it.
Alright, where is that? Back at 14. And the living creatures ran, returned as the appearance of a flash of lightning. Now as I beheld the living creatures, behold, one wheel upon the earth by the living creatures with the four faces. The appearances of the wheels and their work was like unto the color of beryl, and they four had one likeness.
And so like real quick, I know beryl, there's multiple colors for that. So I know like one I think is like yellow and so a little willing. But that'd be a good thing to do though, like when brothers read, look up obviously like name places, names, and also these different stones and different things like that, so you can have an image in your head, but you got it.
And their appearance and their work was as it were a wheel in the middle of a wheel.
Mm-hmm.
When they went upon their four sides, and they turned not when they went.
Mm-hmm.
As for their rings, they were so high that they were dreadful, and their rings were full of eyes around about them four.
Right, them eyes goes into the windows pretty much of the chariot. You know what I'm saying? Like you see the picture of the chariot, you got the little windows, and you know what I'm saying? That's what them eyes are. You see what I'm saying? But now you can skip to
24.
Yeah.
Verse 24. And when they went, I heard the noise of their wings, like the noise of great waters, as the voice of the Almighty, the voice of speech, as the noise of an host. When they stood, they let down their wings.
Right, because the Lord, he got a mighty voice. You know what I'm saying? Revelation goes into Yahushua's voice too. There's many waters. You know what I'm saying? But this right here, this is beautiful because I tried to find this picture, man, but it was a picture a couple of years ago. NASA, they took a picture of something in space, and it looked like a giant angel with like armor, and it was raw as shit because if you look at the very top of it, it looked like it really looked like your house shy or something, like on a throne. Man, I wish I could find this picture, but
it was going viral between the brothers a while back.
Yeah, man, I'm sorry I can't find it, but that was beautiful, bro. Like, man, this is real,
Yeah, I mean, even Salakia, just a quick testimony. I know I think y'all brothers heard about this. Mm-hmm. Even when I was in with KC, GMS KC, them brothers, we had a holy day. I think it was a feast of dedication. But anyways, we was in the middle of the wood, middle of a RV park, surrounded by like heathen crackers, niggas, and we seen hundreds of chariots in a formation. And Elder Maholoy was in Chicago, and we called him, and he was like, "Yo, bro, yeah, this shit is crazy." And then he said, "Yo, what the fuck you talking about?" And then then he said, "Y'all seeing the same thing we're seeing in Chicago and Kansas City." So them joints like in the formation, hundreds in a beautiful formation, and then they like transported to Chicago, so it was spiritual because they seen the same thing. All right, so this thing is real, man. Hundreds of chariots, man. I couldn't believe my eyes, man. But
that's the spirit, because that was reminding me too. I see. Remember, where you live, that little river.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know what I'm saying? But I think it's next to that bank. I remember. I think I ran last like a night, and I just always like stopped at that river, just to chill and pray for a little hot second. And I remember I seen it. It was like I think it was like a blue chariot. It was on both sides, but one on the left side, it was like probably like 20, 30 chariots coming out of one. And then on the other side was like regular, like white colored chariots. I was bugging. I made a video on it and everything, but it was crazy, man. Hey, the chariots is wonderful, you know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm saying. I still got Jake, remember that video of the taco truck? I got a video showing how fast the chariots are, you know what I'm saying? Just to,
and it's ultimately a faith booster.
On the Jake testimony, So like you said, they move like lightning. I got a video of them one shooting through a live picture. It's a still picture, but it goes live.
Oh yeah,
so it catches like a second.
Mm-hmm.
And the joint just zip through in like a second. You know what I'm saying?
You got it. Oh yeah, and it's like just to add, there was another picture just recently of Nazar taking another one. I know in Dabu 7, he got it on his channel. It looked like what kind of like Ezekiel 1 with a human kind of mixed with something else, and like with the angel wing, and guess what? He had like a fro. You know what I'm saying? So this is beautiful, bro. You know, but you got it.
Yeah. I'll read back at 24. And when they went, I heard the noise of their wings, like the noise of great waters, as the voice of the Almighty, the voice of speech, as the noise of an host. When they stood, they let down their wings, and there was a voice from the firmament that was over their heads when they stood and had let down their wings. And above the firmament that was over their heads was the likeness of a throne, as the appearance of a sapphire stone. And upon the likeness of the throne was the likeness of as the appearance of a man above upon it.
How, you know what I'm saying? Which again, like I said, that Nazareth picture, it was the same thing. It was an angel, a tall, big, giant ass angel. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know, did they have a sword? What am I tripping? You know, you just seen that picture? The one we're talking about, the Nazareth one?
No.
Cause I know he had like armor, it looked like, but then above him, it looked like a throne. You know what I'm saying? For man, I believe he had a fro. You know what I'm saying? So that just confirms the Lord. You know what I'm saying? But you got it.
Yeah. And I saw as the color of amber, as the appearance of fire round about within it, from the appearance of his loins even upward, and from the appearance of his loins even downward, I saw as it were the appearance of fire, and it had a brightness around about, as the appearance of the bow that is in the cloud in the day of rain, so was the appearance of the brightness round about. This was the appearance of the likeness of the glory of the Lord Yahweh. And when I saw it, I fell upon my face, and I heard a voice of one that spake.
Right, and real quick, let's just read Ezekiel 2 to like 1 to like let me see. You can stop at 3 and then we go back to the article because it's gonna go into that word glory.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But you got
All right, Ezekiel 2 at the top. And he said unto me, Son of man, stand upon thy feet, and I will speak unto thee. And the Spirit entered into me when he spake unto me, and set me upon my feet, that I heard him that spake unto me. And he said unto me, Son of man, I send thee to the children of Israel, to a rebellious nation that hath rebelled against me. They and their fathers have transgressed against me, even unto this very day.
right. So the Lord appeared. You know what I'm saying? And now he's giving Ezekiel the breakdown, and now he's about to begin his ministry. But I believe we're gonna go back to that. So let's just go back to the article, and then let me see. You can skip down.
I'm sorry. I was at Ezekiel 1:11, commissioning signs, acts, and the Most High's departure from the temple.
If you could skip to the second paragraph where it said the Hebrew word for glory.
Mm-hmm. Yep, gotcha. All right, back at the BibleProject.com article, or article of the book of Ezekiel. It says the Hebrew word for glory is kavod, and it means heavy or significant.
Right, because I remember Jake used to say that back in the day. I don't really hear Jake say that in a minute, but like, damn, that's heavy. Like, you know what I'm saying? But that's how the glory of the Lord was. It was very heavy and majestic.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But you got it.
It says heavy or significant. The biblical authors use this word to describe the physical manifestations of the Most High's importance when he personally appears. The image. Oh, sorry.
And it's heavy because too, like, you gonna feel you ain't gonna just see the Lord. You gonna feel His presence. You know, Exodus 20, people before the Lord even really truly appeared. You know, people were scared. Oh shit! Never mind. Let's talk to Moses. You know.
Even in Numbers.
It just shows you like the Lord's glory is gonna be heavy as hell, man. Our bodies can't really naturally take it. You know what I'm saying? Even Isaiah, when he seen the glory of the Lord in the temple, you know what I'm saying? It's just beyond our understanding. It's just glorious. You know?
Yeah, it really, yeah. I mean, I was just thinking about it. The story of what's the nigga name? Them 3 niggas that went against Moses. They wanted to see the Heavenly Father. That's in Numbers. Abs, Koram, Dathan, and
Well, it was a whole multitude, really.
yeah. Oh yeah, he took his whole he put a hole in, dug a pit for them niggas, but you know that they don't want to see the glory of Yahweh Shemel Shai, because this place will blow up, man. It's too much to handle, you know.
That's why, like even going back, because I forgot to mention when I was talking about Isaiah. That's why the angels was covering the Lord's face. You know what I'm saying? You can't even like even Moses, going back to Moses. He said, "I'm gonna walk past you, but you only gonna see my hinder part." You know what I mean? Because if you see the face of the Lord, you ain't gonna live. You know what I'm saying? That's that.
Connor, the Hebrew word in the paleo for glory will be kabawad. Kabawad. B-O-B.
Beautiful. Is there anything you want to read in there? A definition?
I'm gonna go to the strong. It says properly weight, but only figuratively in a good sense.
You said weight?
Right. So it's like weight is heavy.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It says properly weight, but only figuratively in a good sense. Splendor or copiousness, glory, honor. So like you said, his presence, his weight is like you said, you don't feel it.
Yeah.
Feel, you know what I'm saying? Like you said, figuratively in a good sense. When you feel someone's presence, the presence of the Lord is heavy, it's weighty, you know.
Come on. Real quick, let me I'm gonna read this real quick. You got more?
That's pretty much it.
I'm gonna read this real quick. Psalms 104:1. Bless Yahweh, O my soul, O Yahweh my God, thou art very great. Thou art clothed with honor and majesty. You know what I'm saying? Because like the brother was saying, these people or farming and things like that. The Most High, he's the ultimate or. You know what I'm saying? He's clothed with honor and majesty, who covers thyself with light as with a garment, who stretcheth out the heavens like a curtain, who layeth the beams of his chambers in the waters, who maketh the clouds his chariot, who walketh upon the wings of the wind. Going back to those chariots, you know what I'm saying? What the scriptures, I think it's, can somebody get that? I think it's Nahum. Yeah, Nahum 1, where it says that the Lord, the clouds and the dust of his feet. It says, verse 4, who maketh his angels spirits, his ministers a flaming fire. Let me see. I can stop there.
I got you. Nahum 1. Yahweh is slow to anger and great in power, and will not at all quit the wicked. Yahweh have his way in the whirlwind, and the cloud slacking in the storm, and the clouds are the dust of his feet.
Right, see what I'm saying? So Most High is slow to anger and great in power. You know what I'm saying? Not all quit the wicked. He ain't gonna let the wicked get away. It also says Yahweh have his way in the whirlwind and the storm, and the clouds are the dust of his feet. You know, speaking of those chariots, you know what I'm saying? Was that we can get more, but we can stop there. Was that Psalms 18 says he rode upon a cherubim, he said he did fly. You know what I'm saying? So on and so forth. We can go on for days, but we just go back to the article real quick.
All right, back at the article, of course, BibleProject.com. Yep, I'll just get back to it on the top. The Hebrew word for glory is kabawad, and it means heavy or significant. The biblical authors use this word to describe the physical manifestations of the Most High's importance. When he personally appears, the images in the vision are similar to when the Most High appeared on Mount Sinai in Exodus 19 and 24, as well as when his presence came over the Ark of the Covenant in Exodus the 25th chapter. And that's actually the most shocking thing about Ezekiel's vision. The Most High's glorious presence is supposed to be dwelling in the Jerusalem temple or Yerushalayim temple. What is the Most High's glory doing in Babylon? This question, which have been obvious to any ancient Israelite, is what the first section of the book of Ezekiel sets out to answer.
Right, which of course, you know, the Most High dwells everywhere. He's what the scripture says, he filled the heaven and the earth. You know what I'm saying? He can't dwell in human, what's that, Acts, I believe it says he can't dwell in a place that's made by human hands.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But you got it.
It says, the Most High first speaks to Ezekiel from atop the throne chariot and commissions him as a prophet. Chapters 1-3.
Right, which we use that a lot, you know what I'm saying? 2 and 3, going to, preaching to your people, they ain't gonna listen.
Mm-hmm.
That's where we get that famous, Jake used that a lot, you know what I'm saying? But you got it.
He is to accuse Israel of breaking the covenant agreement. With their power, Israel has given their allegiance to other gods and has been worshiping idols, which has led to rampant social injustice and violence. In response to all this, the Most High has appointed Ezekiel to warn Israel that the first Babylonian attack on Jerusalem will be matched by a second, except this time the city and its temple will be totally destroyed. In chapters 4-5, we see how Ezekiel gets his message across with his words and by performing sign acts, a form of ancient street theater.
Real quick, and that's what the Lord do a lot. He used a lot of similitudes, you know what I'm saying? And we can just give one example. We don't got to give every single example because he did it a few times. Let's just get Ezekiel 4:1.
Ezekiel 4:1, it reads, "And thou also, son of man, take thee a tile, and lay it before thee, and portray upon it the city, even Jerusalem, and lay siege against it, and build a fort against it, and cast a mount against it. Set the camp also against it, and set battering rams against it round about. Moreover, take thou unto thee an iron pan, and set it for a wall of iron between thee and the city, and set thy face against it, and it shall be besieged, and thou shalt lay siege against it. This shall be a sign to the house of Israel. Lie thou also upon thy left side, and lay the iniquity of the house of Israel upon it, according to the number of the days that thou shalt lie upon it. Thou shalt bear their iniquity, for I have laid upon thee the years of their iniquity, according to the number of the days, 390 days. So shalt thou bear the iniquity of the house of Israel. And when thou hast accomplished them, lie again on thy right side. Thou shalt bear the iniquity of the house of Judah 40 days. I have appointed thee each day for a year."
Right, and then let me see. You can stop there. Hold on. Matter of fact, you can stop at 8.
Verse 7, "Therefore thou shalt set thy face toward the siege of Jerusalem, and thine arm shall be uncovered, and thou shalt prophesy against it. And behold, I will lay bands upon thee, and thou shalt not turn thee from one side to another, till thou hast ended the days of thy siege."
Right, you can stop there, just showing, the Lord used similitudes and had him out there, showing the siege of Israel and Judah, Then also, after that, he made them pretty much eat cow dung, and he did other examples too, just showing because he ate cow dung because he said he's going to eat the defiled food amongst the Gentiles, The Lord does that. He makes a prophet do example just to forecast pretty much what's about to happen. You know what I'm saying? But we can go back to the article.
It says, in chapters 4-5, we see how Ezekiel gets his message across with his words and by performing sign acts, a form of ancient street theater. Ezekiel would publicly behave in strange, bizarre ways that acted as parables of his prophetic message. He was called to build a tiny model of Jerusalem and enact the coming Babylonian attack. He shaved off all his hair and chopped it up with a sword, In the most extreme case, he played the role of the scapegoat of the Day of Atonement by lying on his side for over a year, eating food cooked over human waste as a sign of the nasty food that would be eaten during the siege of Jerusalem.
Right, in which he wasn't, or the Lord told him to eat human waste, human shit first. And he was like, I ain't never did that. Then it's like he said, or eat cows. You know what I'm saying? So he ended up eating the cow shit. You know what I mean? But you got it.
This is perhaps the most disheartening thing of all, however, is the bad news that the Most High gave Ezekiel. No one is going to listen to his message. Israel Israel would reject him because of their rebellious and hard hearts. Ezekiel chapter 2:4, Ezekiel 3:7. We get those precepts all the time. Just recall.
Oh, yeah, on time.
45, 46.
But you got it. But yeah, that's nothing new to us, man. These niggas ain't gonna listen. That's why the scripture says we're gonna prophesy to the wind. But you got it.
Mm-hmm. This recalls Moses' description of Israel after the wilderness rebellions and his prediction with that Israel would eventually end up in exile, Deuteronomy 30th chapter. Ezekiel had the unfortunate privilege of seeing Moses' warning becoming grim reality. After his commission, a dismayed Ezekiel began to perform his task. After about a year, he has another vision in which he is taken on a virtual tour of the temple to see what's happening there. Is that his absence, chapters 8 to 11.
Can I make one point?
Mm-hmm.
So dealing with the dung, believe he baked it. He baked with the dung. He didn't literally eat it.
Mm-hmm.
Like if when you read verse like 11, or let me see, just for the cam, because first he told him to use a human feces, and it was a cow, but he just baked it with it, like as a fuel, so it probably had that like aftertaste type of situations. Yeah, verses 12. Ezekiel 4:12. Then you read down. I just wanted to make that point.
And it's not good. In the outer court in front of the temple stands a large idol statue. He sees the elders of Israel worshiping other gods, both outside and inside the temple. And he also sees women worshiping the Babylonian god Tammuz. Finally, he sees the Most High's glorious throne chariot move out of the most holy space and leave the temple and head east towards Babylon.
Now, real quick, just for the time's sake, Lord willing, brothers can read that account on their own. But can we get what's done in the dark should be revealed in the light? Because pretty much the Lord showed them the wickedness that niggas was doing behind closed doors. You know what I'm saying? And I think a brother said that too in the video, elder brother, something like that. The Lord might do that. The Lord might show us a vision of the wickedness that these different Israelite camps doing or different churches doing behind closed doors, just like he did to Ezekiel. You know what I'm saying? And that's really happening, really, on a spiritual. Niggas get exposed.
Cigar.
I got it.
Yeah.
Did you want the one in Luke?
I got it. Dang.
It don't matter.
Oh no.
Is that it?
It's, let me see.
No, that's not it.
It might be. Okay, Slovakia.
The one in Luke, right? Luke 8.
Yeah, that might be it. What did that say?
Luke 8 and 17 says, "For nothing is secret that shall not be made manifest." This Luke 8:17 reads, "For nothing is secret that shall not be made manifest, neither anything hid that shall not be known and come abroad."
Right, that's exactly what's happening on all levels. You know what I'm saying? The Israelite camps, the churches, these Esau's, the politicians, everything is being exposed. You know what I'm saying? And chiefly through the prophets of Yahweh Shem Shai. You know what I'm saying? But you can go back to the article.
Let me see one back. All right, back at it. The article, of course, BibleProject.com. And so we come full circle in chapter 11, and we discover why and how the Most High's glory came to appear before Ezekiel as he sat by the canal in Babylon. Israel's idolatry and covenant violations became so blatant and offensive that the Most High decided to leave his own temple. The Israelites had driven their power away, and he gives the city and temple over to destruction. Yet the Most High has not abandoned his people. Rather, he goes into exile with them. At the end of the vision, the Most High promises that he will return a remnant of Israel back to the land, transforming them by removing their heart of the stone and giving them a new, soft heart of flesh so that he can love and follow their power. Ezekiel 11:19.
Let me see. Yeah, somebody read that real quick.
I got you. Ezekiel 11. You want to get to the point?
Yeah.
Verse 19. It says, "And I will give them one heart, and I will put a new spirit within you, and will take the stony heart out of their flesh, and will give them an heart of flesh, that they may walk in my statutes and keep mine ordinances, and do them, and they shall be my people, and I will be their God."
Right, that's what we're gonna do with the second covenant, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna be perfect, you know? And but of course, you know, the Lord did that on a, I would say, at a lower level, you know, pretty much make the people return. You know what I'm saying? Like we already did that class with Ezra, Nehemiah, you know, so what's his name? Zerubbabel, things like that. But the Lord's gonna perfect it with the new covenant. You know what I'm saying? And we're gonna have the laws and statutes in our heart, and we won't be going off at all. You know what I'm saying? But let me see. We can start. No. Matter of fact, can you go down to 22 and just read out the rest of the chapter?
Verses 22, it says, "Then did the cherubims lift up their wings, and the wheels beside them, and the glory of the Most High, God of Israel, was over them above. And the glory of Yahweh went up from the midst of the city and stood upon the mountain, which is on the east side of the city. Afterwards, the Spirit took me up and brought me in a vision by the Spirit of the Most High to Chaldea, to them of the captivity. So the vision that I had seen went up from me. Then I spake unto them of the captivity all the things that Yahweh had showed me."
Right. See what I'm saying? So the Lord gave him a vision in the captivity, and he, you know, like a prophet, the vision that he gave to break down to the people. You know what I'm saying? And then now going back to the article, it's gonna go into a glimmer of hope. Alright, what you got it?
Back at it. It's a small glimmer of hope that's quickly submerged under the reality of imminent destruction. Chapter 11 is a key transition story that helps us understand how the rest of the book of Ezekiel is designed. The next 3 sections are all announcements of the Most High's judgment, beginning with Israel, chapters 12 to 24, moving on to the neighboring nations, chapters 25 to 32, and finally addressing the city of Jerusalem itself, chapter 33. Following all this grim judgment, we find in chapters 34 to 48 a more powerful conclusion for Israel, the nations, and all creation. I'm sorry? A more hopeful conclusion for Israel, the nations, and all creation. Ezekiel 12 to 24, warnings of Israel's coming judgment. Chapters 12 to 24 of the book of Ezekiel focus on the Most High's judgment coming for Israel. This is a collection of diverse poems and essays where Ezekiel shows his fondness for parable and allegory. He portrays Israel as a burnt, useless stick. Chapter 15, a rebellious wife. Chapter 16, a dangerous raging lion captured by hunters, chapter 19, and as two promiscuous sisters, yet, chapter 23. There are all depictions of Israel's senseless rebellion and idolatry and the ruin that results. So that was allegorical pretty much in that chapter. When I read it, I was like, that had to be, because I read it, I was like, holy, you know. Where I'm at.
Ask that lawyer. I think,
Yeah, I got it. These are all depictions of Israel's senseless rebellion and idolatry and the ruin that results in chapters 14, 18, and 20. Ezekiel also acts as a lawyer, arguing the case that Jerusalem destruction is truly deserved after centuries of covenant violation. He argues that even if
which was right, because the Lord gave us the covenant. Like, look, if you obey, you know what I'm saying, I'm gonna keep you here. You're gonna be living good. You know what I'm saying. But if you disobey, I'm gonna scatter you. You know what I'm saying. Put these curses on you. You know, I'm gonna whoop your ass pretty much. You know, so hey, we disagree or we disobeyed. So the Lord is just fulfilling the part of the agreement. You know what I'm saying. But it's good though because the Lord, He's also merciful. He's gonna make another covenant because the first one, there was nothing wrong with the first covenant. Ain't nothing wrong with the law. It's just that there's something wrong with us.
yeah, it's like Esau. He's not merciful. You violate something, that nigga gonna give you. That nigga said he gonna give you 300 years of life. I can't live 300 years.
Right.
But you go into debt, and you can't pay your debt, and you go into an article, whatever the word is, I forget the term, but yeah, you got to go into a bankruptcy and shit, and then you got to start your life all over, and you can't do nothing about it because you got to eat here. That nigga's a dick, man. Pause. Back at it. All right, he argues that even if the most righteous people in the world, like Noah, Daniel, and Job, were alive and praying for mercy on Israel, the Most High wouldn't accept their prayers. It's far too late.
Well, which can we get? What's that? Jeremiah, I think 15. Let me see. Yeah, can we get Jeremiah 15 and 1?
Jeremiah, you said 15 and 1?
Mm-hmm.
Jeremiah 15:1 it reads, it said, Then said Yahweh unto me, though Moses and Samuel stood before me, yet my mind could not be toward this people. Cast them out of my sight and let them go forth.
Right, see? So nothing can stop the judgment on 2/3 of Israel. Not Moses, not Samuel, anybody that try to plead. That's why he told Jeremiah, don't lift up a cry for these people because I'm not going to hear it. You know what I'm saying? These judgments must needs be. All right. Let me stop there. Let me go back to the.
All right. Back at it. It says, like Noah, Daniel, and Job were alive and praying for mercy on Israel, the Most High wouldn't accept their prayers. It's far too late. The Most High's goodness actually demands that He bring justice on this generation of Israel. The exile has become inevitable as they reach the point of no return. Ezekiel 25-33, judgment of the nations and the destruction of Jerusalem. Next, Ezekiel focuses on the nations immediately around Israel, like Ammon, Moab, Edom, and Philistine, or the Philistines, chapter 25, as well as the two most powerful states in the region, Egypt and Tyre, chapters 26-32. Israel has allied with these nations and adopted their gods and idols. More specifically, God accuses the kings of Tyre and Egypt of arrogantly viewing themselves as gods, defining right and wrong on their terms. He holds these kings accountable for their pride and announces that He will use Babylon to bring them down. They will face the Most High's judgment along with everyone else.
Right, which they ultimately did, because we already brought it out, and we was going into the book of Jeremiah. Pretty much, because Egypt, they had a great power at that time, and Syria, but then they lost it because of Babylon. Then they became a superpower. You know what I'm saying? And then pretty much, well, keep going back, way back to, what king was that? Was it Ahaz? When, with the situation with Syria and Israel, and then when Israel was still a nation and shit, they tried to take over Judah, and then the Lord had, them destroyed, fucked up. And then so pretty much Assyria and Egypt, they try to pretty much get their power. Egypt, so like they try to go to Assyria for help, and then the Babylon destroyed them. And then when they destroyed them and defeated them, they lost their power in that region, all in that Levant region, which included Judah and shit. You know what I'm saying? So then, of course, like I said, then Babylon became a superpower. All right, but you got it.
It says, following these intense sections is a short story in chapter 33. Ezekiel is met by a refugee who has just arrived from Jerusalem to give him a report. Babylon has attacked the city of Jerusalem once again. This time the city has fallen and the temple is destroyed. Ezekiel's warnings became a reality, but in the midst of his grief, we remember the glimmer of future hope at the end of chapter 11. Jerusalem's destruction is not the end of the story.
Real quick, can we get Ezekiel 33? Let me see. Because it shows you in this chapter, that's when he found out. Hold on, let me see. I gotta find the verse. Let me see. Hold on, Google search this. I can't find the verse. Ezekiel 33 and 21.
Gotcha. Ezekiel 33, 21 says, and it came to pass in the 12th year of our captivity, in the 10th month, in the 5th day of the month, that one that had escaped out of Jerusalem came unto me, saying, the city is smitten. Now the hand of Yahweh was upon me in the evening, before he that was escaped came and had opened my mouth, until he came to me in the morning, and my mouth was open, and I was no more dumb.
Right, so that's when we found out, you know what I'm saying? We said the city is smitten, and now all those prophecies came to pass. All right, and then now, what's that? If you go down, let me see. It will. Can you read 33, verse 33?
Verse 33 reads, and when this cometh to pass, lo, it will come, then shall they know that a prophet hath been among them.
Right, and that's same thing gonna happen today. These people don't see everything that the words of the Lord has spoken. Or at this time, with Jeremiah and Ezekiel, it came to pass. Same things today. We say these things gonna destroy America and so on and so forth. These people gonna realize that a prophet has been among them. You know what I'm saying? But let me see. We can go back. I believe we got. Let me see. You might skip around a little bit, but you got it.
Back at it. Article, obviously, BibleProject.com. Ezekiel 34 to 37, coming hope and after exile. Excuse me. The next main part of Ezekiel, chapters 34 to 48, explores the aftermath of the destruction of Jerusalem and its temple. This was the most horrendous catastrophe that had ever happened to Israel, and it raised the question of whether or not the Most High was done with his people back in chapter 11. However, we were left with the hope that there was still a future beyond the exile. The rest of the book of Ezekiel is designed to explore the vision of hope. First for Israel, chapters 34 to 37, then for the nations, chapters 38 to 39, and finally for all creation, chapters 40 to 48.
Right, which of course, we already know the Lord's only dealing with Israel. He just have mercy on those that scattered abroad and made look like different nations and things like that. You know what I'm saying? The Lord ain't dealing with these different nations. But in the kingdom of heaven, after the 1,000 years, these different nations going to be blessed through us. That doesn't mean that they going to have the blessing and spiritual powers in the kingdom just like us. No. You know, they just gonna live a better life. You know what I'm saying? But you got it.
Because if I may make mention, every last Israelite wasn't in Jerusalem at that time. You know?
Right. You got it.
Yeah. The northern tribe was scattered.
Right.
The Most High promises Israel that he will raise up a new King David, a future messianic king who will be the kind of leader that Israel always needed but never had. Chapter 34. The new Israel that will come under this king's reign will be transformed.
Right, which King David will rule again. You know, you don't see that in the land of Israel right now. Where's your King David?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Donald Trump.
Right. You know? But you got it.
It says.
I think some of them niggas over there don't even believe in the Messiah.
Yeah.
So you don't got no Messiah and you don't got no King David.
Nigga smack.
Right. Smack. But you got it.
It says the Most High will deal with their problem of rebellion by giving them new hearts. Chapter 36. Just as Moses promised in Deuteronomy 30:6, the Most High says that he's going to remove Israel's hard hearts and send his spirit into his people to give them new soft hearts that will love and obey their power. Ezekiel 36:23-30. The idea gets developed further in the next chapter through a strange vision. Chapter 37. Yep. Ezekiel sees a huge valley filled with dried human bones and skeletons. The Most High tells him,
can we get that congregation of the dead remaining congregation of the dead? Because the dry bones represents the dead state that Jake is in. You know what I'm saying? But you know, we get our skin and our bones and all that things back to life. That's pretty much us getting the truth. Then it goes into the tribe of not tribe, but the nation of Israel and Judah be on one stick. So that goes back to the nation of Israel coming back together. You know, but you got it.
God, and at that point, it hadn't happened yet at all up until this.
but to this point right now,
And they were already separated, you know, prior. Well, you know, in the midst of this happening.
Yeah.
So when did this happen? Like you said, concerning them small hats over there, when did that happen? When did the two sticks come together and be one?
yeah, because they call.
A lot of the niggas don't even know what tribe they in. They don't even claim tribes. Just
I'm Jewish.
I'm a Jew.
Yeah, nigga,
That's
shut
only
up.
the southern tribes. You know, a derogatory term put on the southern tribes at that time. What about Manasseh, Asher, Naphtali, you know, Gad, Reuben? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So if you ever want to cut a small axe, what tribe you from? Oh, I'm just a Jew.
That's easy. That explains that they don't. And so many. It's countless examples to cut a little small hat. Even a small hat on the crown of his head is a cut. You know. I don't see them niggas out there prophesying, man.
Right.
Proverbs 21:16 reads, it says, "The man that wandereth out of the way of understanding shall remain in the congregation of the dead."
Right. So if you don't have this truth, this wisdom and knowledge, understanding, you know, then you're dead. You know, what the scripture says, the spirit quickeneth. And you look at the word quick, you know, it doesn't go into literally quick fast. It goes into the word
Alive.
alive. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, again, Yahushua said, well, I'm the way, the truth, and the life. So if you don't have Yahushua, then you don't have no life. You know what I'm saying? But you got it.
I got a quick precept, just a quick one. You know, a classic. It's Isaiah 33:6. "And wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times, and the strength of salvation. The fear of the Lord, Yahweh, is his treasure." So just going back to that, you know, if you don't have this knowledge, this truth, man, you pretty much flapping in the wind. And you don't want to be flapping in the wind, because right now we see the end times, you know. All right, back at it. Ezekiel sees a huge valley filled with dried human bones and skeletons. The Most High tells him that it's an image of Israel's spiritual state. Their rebellion against the Most High has resulted in the exile which brought a metaphorical and literal death to Israel. The Most High then tells Ezekiel that his spirit will come and bring them back to life. A wind comes and causes the bones to stand, filling them with breath and life and causing them to regrow skin all of a sudden. Ezekiel's
what's that? Wisdom of Solomon, I believe, goes going into the breath, or wisdom is the breath of the Most High. You know what I'm saying? That's how Adam, he received the breath, because he was already literally alive, but the Lord gave him that breath, which is that wisdom, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. The spirit, just like us. That's why the Lord said, you must be born again. Because, what's his name? Nicodemus, he was like, whoa, shit, like, can we get that? Because we ain't get that. I don't know, me personally, I didn't get that in a long time. But I think it's John 3, And then after this, we start kind of closing out. So I know we about to be at like an hour.
Yeah, we're pushing an hour and 12.
See, John 3:1, it says, there was a man of the Pharisees named Nicodemus, a ruler of the Jews. The same came to Yahushua by night and said unto him, Rabbi, we know that thou art a teacher come from the Most High, for no man can do these miracles that thou doest except the Most High be with him.
Right, and just real quick, every single Pharisee wasn't wicked. You know what I'm saying? There was some that believed, but obviously Nicodemus is one. But you got it.
Verse 3, it says, Yahushua answered and said unto him, Verily, verily, I say unto thee, except a man be born again, he cannot see the kingdom of the Most High.
Mm-hmm.
Nicodemus saith unto him, How can a man be born when he is old? Can he enter the second time into his mother's womb and be born?
So he was thinking currently, you know what I'm saying? But Yahushua was giving a breakdown.
Verses 5, it says, Yahushua answered, Verily, verily, I say unto thee, except a man be born of water and of the Spirit, he cannot enter into the kingdom of the Most High.
Right, so you can be born again, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's the true life, because people think when you come out with your mother, or I would say your father first and then go come out your mother, that's the beginning of life. The real beginning of life is being born with water and of the Spirit. You know what I'm saying? But let me see, we can stop there, we can go back to the article.
Ezekiel sees all these new humans standing before him. This vision recalls the story about the creation of humanity from Genesis 2, in which the Most High made humans from dirt and divine breath. Israel and all humanity have rebelled, resulting in death. So the only hope left is that the Most High will perform an act of new creation and remake humans in such a way that they truly live in a relationship of the love with the Most High and others. So even if the Most High is going to deal with the evil in the hearts of his people, some questions still remain unresolved. What about the evil still rampant in the other nations? What about the temple? This is the final two sections of the book are all about.
Right. Now it goes into God and may God. Let me see. I might just summarize myself just quicker because Jake already we've been to it a million times, but just real quick, you know what I'm saying. That's what's going on right now. You see, because it mentioned Persia, it mentioned God and may God, Russia. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be a garden to them. And you see, I believe Russia and China just made a deal with Iran. Pretty much, I forgot what it was, but I think they were saying they're going to pretty much defend if there's going to be a ground invasion and stuff like that. So this just shows you. And then also it mentioned Turkey too. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be on their side. And that's what you see. Because right now, Turkey technically is on America and NATO and all that shit. They on their side. But America is turning all his allies against them. So that shows you that the Bible prophecy is going to be
fulfilled.
Right, it's going to be fulfilled. It's going to stand. Because the human mind today would be like, oh, that's impossible. They allies, like brother always say, that peace treaty and allies, all that shit don't really mean nothing. It's just postponing. Like if you make a treaty with a different nation, doesn't mean we're gonna be cool forever and ever. you know, that treaty can end.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They all can be at war. You know what I'm saying?
They really do. Them trees, they don't last forever. They have like an expiration date on those trees.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what's about to happen per Revelation 17th chapter.
Yep. That just reminded me, I think Russia and America had a treaty about their nukes.
Yeah.
I think about making it so much, and then that shit just ended.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think like last year or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know? But you can skip to the last part.
Alright. Back at the article. So the last actual paragraph.
What Ezekiel 40, 48 vision?
40 to 48.
Yeah.
Ezekiel 40 to 48, vision of a restored temple and renewed creation. After the Most High's victory, chapters 40 to 48 describe how the Most High's presence will one day return to his people and his temple, resulting in cosmic restoration. Ezekiel has an elaborate vision of a new temple and city. He is given a heavenly tour guide who shows Ezekiel around this new temple complex that's much larger and even more majestic than King Solomon's temple. There's a new altar, new priests, and a new system of worship. After the elaborate tour, the Most High's glorious throne chariot that Ezekiel saw in his first vision comes back and enters this new temple.
Right, so, you know, we had, okay, obviously the first temple got destroyed, and there's going to be two more. Now, the second one was literal, like an actual temple when we came back from exile. You know what I'm saying? Which were, like I said, we already went through that with Nehemiah, right, Zerubbabel, Ezra, so on and so forth. All right, and I believe the priest Joshua. You know, but now the third one is going to be spiritual, and that's going to be us, because we're lively stones. That's us coming down from chariots, you know what I'm saying, and returning back to our land. All right, but you got it.
So now the meaning of these visions has been a source of debate for a long time. Some Jewish and Christian readers believe that this vision will be fulfilled literally one day, and that these chapters offer the actual blueprints of the new temple to be built when the Messiah returns and brings the Most High's kingdom. Many other Jewish
and you got a lot of so-called, you know, who's thinking that they about to build a third temple.
Yeah.
You know, sacrifice a red heifer and shit. But nah, you know, that's gonna come to naught. You know what I'm saying? But you got it.
This is when the Messiah returns and brings the Most High's kingdom. Many other Jewish and Christian readers think that this vision, like Ezekiel's,
real quick, so like my fault, and because going back to the second temple, you know, it was beautiful and all that, but you had Herod, he had additionals to the temple. So you know what I'm saying? You have a heathen, an Edomite at that.
Yeah.
Gonna add to the temple. Like no, when we get our third, the kingdom period, ain't gonna have no heathen that's gonna be having their building their part of their into our shit.
Yeah, making additions and shit. Yeah, that's what that defiled the temple anyway. Niggas ain't supposed to be up in there. It says, Christian readers think that the vision, like Ezekiel's other visions, is full of symbolic imagery.
It's like, I keep thinking this shit's like, but because the Lord said, no stone shall be left. You know what I'm saying? That's what happened. But it's spiritual because the only thing, like you see them rats over there doing that pumping the wall shit. that was Herod's wall. So that's spiritual. The only thing that's still standing is the Edomite part. Our actual temple was destroyed.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. It says they depict the reality of the Most High's presence returning to his people in the messianic kingdom, but not necessarily in the form of an actual building. Whichever view you take, it's important to notice that Ezekiel never calls the city Jerusalem, and in chapter 47 we discover why. Ezekiel sees a tiny stream pouring out of the temple threshold, quickly becoming a raging river that flows from the temple through the city and out into the desert. The river empties into one of the most desolate places on planet Earth, the Dead Sea Valley. As the river advances, it leaves behind a trail of trees and life, and the Dead Sea is transformed into a living sea, teeming with plants and animals. All this imagery comes from the description of the Garden of Eden in Genesis 1 and 2. And we can see just how cosmic Ezekiel's vision is. The Most High's plan has always been to restore all humanity and creation to his life-giving presence, exemplified in the name of this garden city. The Lord is there. Ezekiel 48 and 35.
It was the scripture said the Lord will beautify the place of his footstool. Roughly paraphrasing. You know what I'm saying? I think Joel goes into that too, Garden Eden. You know what I'm saying? The Lord gonna restore it after he destroys this place. You know what I'm saying? But you got it.
It says, with these stirring images, the book of Ezekiel comes to a close. Out of the darkness of Israel and all humanity's evil emerges a future full of hope. There will be new humans and a new world animated by the Most High's life-giving spirit and living in a world permeated with the Most High's love and justice. This is the profound hope of the prophet Ezekiel.
Yes, sir. You know, kingdom of heaven, you know. But yeah, Lord willing, that concludes the book of Ezekiel. Now, real quick, I want to mention this because next is the book of Daniel, and the brothers is already went into the book of Daniel. You know, it's on that channel, so they went through each chapter. So, Lord willing, I may just I'll do that. I'll just make like a quick summary, like maybe 5 minutes at most. You know, just to bridge everything, and then Lord willing, I'm just gonna go to the book of Hosea. You know what I'm saying? Lord willing, next week. So, anybody got anything? We did? Okay, so Lord willing, hopefully that was edifying. Lord willing, we give all praises and glory to him.
Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Kakodash.
And Javon Savas, Jim, Ruel. So, once the faithfulness continue to work with the Lord. So, shalom.
Shalom.